Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I am going to do a get ready with me and Luxe Chit Chat. I think my Luxe Chit Chat was more than a month ago and I don't know, I just haven't been feeling like doing any Luxe Chit Chat, but I was inspired from our luxury live show to talk about luxury and travels. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kat. I love to do these kind of Luxe Chit Chat videos as I put my makeup on because I also love skincare and makeup. So if you're into this type of chit chat videos, I do hope you will subscribe and hit the notification bell as well. Otherwise, for everyone else, welcome back and let's talk about luxury and traveling. I'm pretty sure the traveling bug is back. Even I am planning to do some traveling this year. I'm planning to go Australia as well because this year is, well, I'm 40 this year. My good friend or my best friend is also 40 and she lives in Melbourne. Before the pandemic, the plan was to go traveling with my friend. We wanted to go Cuba, Brazil. We want to do so many things for our 40th, but obviously that didn't happen. So I think this year I'm just going to visit her in Melbourne. So that's one of the plans that I'm, one of the places that I'm planning to go, and I'm planning to visit family as well. So yeah, the traveling bug is definitely on the rise. A lot of people are going to, Europe. People are traveling to, I don't know, places that are open. I guess Singapore is also open. And one of the questions that we got from the luxury live show was, would you bring your jewelry and your luxury items when you go traveling? So before I get into my chat and share with you my thoughts, I like to hear from all of you. If any of you are traveling or you have some principles when it comes to luxury, would you bring your luxury items to travel? Yes or no? And if it's a yes, what are some tips? If it's a no, why is it a no? I would love to read your comments, and I think a lot of people who are going to watch this would also love to read your comments and your tips as well. For me, my general principle when it comes to luxury items is a no for traveling. I have some exceptions, but just generally, I don't like to bring my luxury items when I go traveling, just because if anything happens during the trip, it's a lot of hassle. You gotta make police report, the sadness, you could ruin the trip just because of a luxury item. So generally, I don't want to bring my luxury items, but because I want to enjoy my luxury items while I'm traveling, because I love my luxury items, I do make some exceptions. So these are sort of my, yes, I would bring it, exceptions. Okay, so firstly, it depends on the place that I'm going. If I know that I'm going to a relatively safe place that, is generally known to be very safe, I am more likely to bring my luxury items. So places like Japan. I brought my Birkin there and it was so safe. Not every place I would carry it, I wouldn't go to like some more like dodgy parts of Japan, like Tokyo, and carry my luxury items. But generally Japan, the people there are really, really honest, and I feel safe in Japan. So that's a place that I would bring my luxury items. Singapore, if you are coming to Singapore, actually generally it is safe to carry your luxury items around town. So again, don't go to like some more secluded places where you're going to be alone, and especially at night. I think anywhere in the world that's not going to be safe. So just generally Singapore, Japan, some parts of the USA. Taiwan is also relatively okay to bring your luxury items. Hong Kong, again, generally it's okay. I would love to hear from all of you. I'm not very well traveled. The other consideration that I have if I'm considering bringing my luxury items is who I'm going with. If I was going with a really big group of luxury lovers as well, then I may consider bringing it just because we're in a crowd of the same type. And I feel maybe a little bit more safe, with that kind of like, protection in groups. But if I was going in a group of families, so it's not that my family is really big, but if I was going with a group of family, I've got my elderly parents, I've got, kids around me, I think it would be quite irresponsible if I were to put them in harm's way if something bad happens, because you know, you never know, this kind of things can happen, and I'm the one that's like, you know, glowing with jewelry. I think that's just not fair and not right. And also, if I was traveling alone, I think if I'm traveling alone, I wouldn't bring my luxury items. But if I'm traveling with my husband, I may still bring some of my luxury items, but I would be very selective because it's only me and my husband. So assuming that I am going to bring some of my luxury items, I'm gonna just talk about them in like bags, jewelry, and everything else. So let's start with bags. If I'm gonna bring my luxury items, if I'm a bunch of, you know, luxury friends, I may consider bringing one more expensive item. But generally, I would pick luxury bags that have really minimal to no logo, because I don't want to be a walking signboard of like, you know, Gucci, 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 or LV, LV, LV. So when it has a lot of monogram and just very, you know, it just says the name out loud, which obviously is a trend, but not for traveling. I think I'm not so comfortable on that. I would rather bring, say, my Longchamp, which is, you know, just small embossing of a logo, or just a bag that has just no logo whatsoever, plain and really understated, so that it doesn't just attract people to look. Yeah, so that's the type of items that, the type of luxury bags that I would go for and be more brave to bring. You know, like Chanel, even though they don't have logo, the quilts are very iconic. And the CC, obviously everyone knows you're carrying a classic flap. I think I wouldn't bring that, you know, unless I may have a special night during that entire trip. Then I may bring it, but I'll only bring that bag out for that special night. So again, very selective on where I would use the item, for how long, and also as much as possible, I would want to keep it really understated. I'm quite risk adverse, and you know, I also worry that I would get other people in trouble because of, I just want to be fancy. So when it comes to bags, I think black is best, no logo is best. In fact, if you don't even carry a bag, that would be best. So yeah, I feel like when it comes to bags, it would also be something very selective if I were to really bring my luxury items. In terms of jewelry, I would go for the minimal jewelry, like no giant diamonds, or really like, you know, chunky things that are just obviously gonna attract the wrong kind of crowd. I will go for more dainty pieces that just, you know, elevate the look a little bit, but not way too much. I don't want to be like wearing a rock. And maybe I would prefer to wear jewelry that is just more obviously costume jewelry, even though they could be like Chanel costume jewelry, but they're not really, they don't hold a lot of value per se, right? If in any event they would be, you know, somebody comes down and say, give me your jewelry, at least they're just costume, they will hurt, but they're not like the real like giant diamonds that I wouldn't recommend you be wearing for any kind of trip. And then maybe have like small pieces, like 1 or 2 rings, just for that occasion if, you know, you're going out and having some, you know, want to take some nice photos. But yeah, dainty pieces, I feel like are still okay. I wouldn't recommend bringing like sentimental pieces along, because again, they are sentimental pieces, and even if you don't get robbed or you don't get attacked, you might forget them in the hotel room, like you leave it on the bed, or you know, when you're washing, or it floats off while you're in the beach. That would also be very painful. Like, it's nothing to do with anyone else but your own fault when it comes to jewelry. For the other luxury items, for example, you know, ready to wear shoes, I don't have a lot of ready to wear, so I'm not going to really comment if I would bring it. If I were to choose some more expensive ready-to-wear pieces, I think again, it would be no logo. Maybe like my Hermes t-shirts, I think are okay, because really, unless you're like this close to me, you would see the Hermes word, but otherwise it's just a nice pattern t-shirt. So yeah, I may consider 1 or 2 of those that just doesn't look like Hermes at all. And then I feel like I'm more comfortable to bring and wear my luxury shoes. Because for me, my luxury shoes are more like sport shoes, And I don't have those that just scream, Gucci, 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 Gucci. It's quite subtle. The only more elaborate one would be maybe my Chanel dad sandals. But because they're on my feet, I don't feel like I would be a target so much. Because, unless you're all blinged out, everything, bag, jewelry, then shoes, obviously you're a target. But I feel like if I'm gonna wear my luxury shoes, I will keep everything on the top pretty simple and maybe just carry like my Hello Kitty bag. Have one luxury piece when I'm traveling just to, get corporate wear, I guess. But I wouldn't like bling out everything. So if I'm gonna carry a luxury bag, even though it's understated, I'll keep everything else minimal, like my Uniqlo t-shirt, maybe don't wear any of my jewelry pieces, wear Zara shorts, just keep everything else but have that one piece. And then if I'm wearing jewelry, one or two like dainty pieces, then maybe I would carry my Hello Kitty bag, wear any of my Converse sport shoes, keep just one, maximum two things, and don't be like a Christmas tree of luxury items. I'm gonna share some of the tips that I do in preparation for something bad that could happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but I usually do this just because, if it happens, at least I have information and I have proof. So the first thing that I do is when I pack my luggage, so after I'm done with putting most of my things, or, they're not like packed in properly, but they're sort of like you could see it, I usually take a photo. I take a photo of what I have in my luggage, whether it's clothes or shoes or stuff. Obviously, you're not going to put your expensive bag for check-in, but at least I have that when I go and check in. And also, at least I have that picture of what I have as in total. So maybe my hand carry will also be laid out, then my luggage will also be laid out. At least I have a whole picture of what I have. In the event, let's say I do lose my handbag or I lose something, at least I know I can show to the officers, okay, this is how my handbag looks like and this is the item. And then I also take a photo of, say, the handbag, and if I have a receipt, I would take a photo of the receipt of the bag. So it kind of gives an idea of what I could have lost and roughly, and if I'm laying out my jewelry, I'll just take a picture of that jewelry set that I'm bringing. I know it may be a bit much. I don't do it all the time, but if I know that I'm going to a place that I may need to leave the things in the hotel room sometimes, at least I have an idea of what I brought and have with me. If you're going to a country where you are going to buy luxury items, it is really, really good practice to bring your receipt along with you, like a copy of the receipt, or like, if you've done it earlier, like what I did, you take a photo of your receipt with your bag. Because when you come back into your country and say, you need to declare your items, and, the officer says, hey, why are you having so many luxury items with you? At least you can show proof that, oh, this is actually my old piece. So the only one that I bought is, say, this piece. So it's better to at least have that proof, either hard copy, or at least digital copy in your phone. The tip is actually inspired from the luxury live shows. So one of the Luxees shared the story of her experience of buying something at the Hermes in Paris, and something happened at maybe when they were packing the item, and her bag was actually given like to another customer, and that customer went away like for the day without knowing that that other customer took the wrong bag. So our Luxee was saying that, oh my gosh, she had to wait they tried to call the other customer and then wait for the customer to come back and all that. So when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, this could totally happen to me. Because, being on YouTube, one of the things that what I love to do is unboxing. So when I were to buy a luxury item and it was packed at the luxury store or whatever store, it doesn't even have to be luxury, it could be anything, right? Packed, it's beautiful. What I would like to do is I want to keep and preserve the packaging and just not open it until maybe the end of the trip, maybe when I'm packing my luggage. So a lot of times I would bring back items, if it's actually packed really beautifully, I don't open it immediately at the hotel or immediately at the house or wherever I am. I will put it aside, like, oh my gosh, I'll film the unboxing, put it aside. So this tip is that if you do not see the item being packed in front of you. Like they're not packing it in front of you. They take it to the back of the storeroom and they pack it and give you this beautiful paper bag with all the flowers and camellias, especially Chanel and Hermes, and maybe LV as well. If you can, you might want to take a peep of it in the store if you know that you have to leave the same day. That's preferred, right? Or if you know that you've got time to come and visit back again, fine, go back to the hotel and open it. Make sure the item that you get is the item that you want and use it immediately. I have a habit of not using my new items straight away. I kind of like to preserve it, enjoy it, just feel like when I'm ready to use it and then use it. So some of my luxury items, I kind of keep it in the box for a little bit before I use it. But on a trip, honestly, it is so important to grab the item and use straight away, luxury or non-luxury, because if anything happens when you're back home, you can't bring it back to the store to fix because you're thousands of miles or hundreds of miles away. So the tip is get home, open your box, make sure you check everything is intact, the item, the receipt, whatever, the bells and whistles that come with the item, make sure that's all there and the item is in perfection, and then use it straight away. Don't put it back in the box and go out and not use it. Use it, get the cost per wear, and also if anything goes wrong with the item, at least you're still in that country or in that location to make changes. I think this is such an important tip for people like me who like to keep things intact, whether it's for filming or just that I just don't feel right to use it straight away. Something that I have to change my mindset in and just like snap it, open it, check it, and then straight away just use it and enjoy it while I'm on that trip. So I feel like this is quite an important tip if you're like me. It is very, very prudent and at least you have that chance to make changes while you're in that location. So that's my little Luxe Chit Chat on traveling with your luxury items and a little get ready with me. I hope you enjoyed this look as well. I'll link everything in the description section down below. I am looking forward to reading all your comments on whether you will travel with your luxury items or you will not travel with your luxury items. Read your tips, as well as if you have any traveling stories with your luxury items. I think that would be very interesting and insightful as well. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, I do hope you will give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification bell as well. Otherwise, everyone, please take care, stay safe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!